Is it more quantity or more quality about the sex that's important to you?
That's a very good question, and that's not one I've really thought about before.
Because you said that you said you made adjustments and you guys still had sex. Was it that you wanted it more often?
On a periodic basis, they're checking up on each other.
Yeah, but men,
they're making sure everybody's okay. Like, prime example, when you go out to the club with your homies, does anybody make sure you go home okay?
Men do not like. I mean, certain men that they're not attracted to. Men that are attracted to do not like females as homies. I'm
not even saying that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the point I'm making. What I am saying is the way we act as friends is very different than how I have seen women behave as friends. Okay, because when women behave with each other, not with another man, but with each other. Like me and you, if we go out to the club and I see you with a woman, the first thing I'm gonna do is, feel good. Yo, you good? Cool. I'm out. Handle your business. So I'm going home.
So the way females interact with each other as far as friends are different the way males interact with each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
But at the same time, like if same situation, like Miss Jannie, I'm sure if you saw your homegirl out with a man and they're spending the whole night together, even at the end of the night, you are walking up to her saying, "Are you okay?
Yes.
Do you want to go home with this person?
Yes.
Do you want me to hit you with that call in like 5 minutes to let you know that I need your help or something?"
Yes.
We're doing that. Miss Jannie B, let me ask you this. If you're attracted to a man, how would you feel if that man put you in the friend zone?
Well, I think if we are using the word friend zone, then he's not attracted to me. He doesn't see me as, a partner in a relationship. So I'm going to accept that. I notice men have a problem accepting if a woman is not attracted, if she doesn't reciprocate. So it's like, just because you like her does not mean that you deserve her. Like, you like her. It doesn't mean she has to like you back. It's like,
here's a follow-up question for you, Miss Jannie. You said that earlier, and I'm probably gonna misword it a little bit, but earlier you said that you have to be friends before you get into a relationship. So what would you say is the difference between getting friend zoned and being someone's friend with the intention of that evolving into a relationship?
Okay, I would think that if you've been friend zoned, that she's probably either made it super clear or has specifically said, I'm not interested at this time. So that's totally different. She has not said that, and she's still behaving in a manner that she likes you, and there's a possible future, and you guys are actually discussing this, and he's even said it, and she's like, yes. Then in that situation, I'm saying like the whole like talking phase, like you first meet them, then you go on a few dates. Dates is just spending time with someone, and then you're texting, and then you're like talking. You haven't really said you're exclusive because you just kind of met. You're forming a friendship. So I'm saying like instead of just rushing to these next areas, like let them build so that you can form this friendship. Like, because we become friends with people like in situations or over time, like in school, because you're around someone. We have coworkers. After a while, you have lunch. Maybe they invite you to their home. Now you start calling each other friends outside of that. But you didn't just meet them and they invite you to their house the next day, the coworker. Yeah. So it's like, like, let's not just rush to sex, or, I mean, people can do what they want to do, but I'm just saying, let's not think because we did that now we're really hooked. We're still some other steps that we need to fulfill. So I'm thinking like the friendship is just in taking the time, because sometimes the man may see you, he's attracted to you, and now he's trying to like really bring it home and have you already be his lady. And you're like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Like, can I be?
You feel like those type of men are a little bit high strung. You think that perspective of men trying to make you his lady, do you feel like that can come off as high strung?
It can come off as high strung and manipulative. Like, why are you moving so fast? Like, and then I question his judgment. Like, you don't even know me that well. So, like, how are you like, trying to have me be someone of so much importance in your life, and you don't know me that long.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. So what do you say to the ladies that, let's say if they're in a relationship or they're married, and again, I harbor back to people that have been in a relationship 9-10 years, even married, and you can kind of talk in your experience of being married before, that the interest is starting to fade a little bit. What do you do in that situation?
And you said they're some years in.
There's some years in, and they're living together. Maybe they have children, maybe not have children, and what I'm trying to say is that sometimes life kind of takes a course of its own. Like, you're working, you got kids, you're still trying to be a good husband, a good wife. But what happens when that interest falls? What are your thoughts on that? What do you say to the ladies and the fellas on that perspective?
I do think life happens because sometimes maybe if other stressors come on, like you lose family members, from grief, you haven't really dealt with that well, you have medical issues, so different things are added on. That's why I think you really need to be proactive, whereas, and not just reactive, but in the head of time, we need to make sure that, like you said, you're someone that needs to recharge. The husband, if he is someone that needs to recharge often, then he needs to be recharging often. If she needs to be, having time away from the kids or not always the one cooking or doing household duties, and she needs to do that. She needs to have a girlfriend's night, evening or something, then she needs to do that. And I think that's where, number one, being friends comes into play, because now you're more we're committed to the commitment. Like, we have a commitment. We made vows. We said we are sticking in this. There's no abuse going on. We're just in this season. So we're rocking it out. We're not walking away. We're
as friends, right?
But you got to see this person as your friend at that time. That's how I feel.
So, okay. This goes back to, if you're making the commitment to being friends, right? Mm-hmm. Does that mean if, let's say his name is John and, your name is Jannie, and let's say you guys are friends. Tomorrow, he goes to work, he meets this girl named Jill, you meet this guy named Mark. You know what I mean? What's the boundaries on this?
We're not saying we're friends like that. That's the part men hate. Because I think when I say friends, you're hearing something else. Because I'm thinking my friend, because I have friend relationships where I can say anything to the woman. I don't have to be embarrassed. I can tell her my worst secret, the one that I think is like, will just make me look horrible. And she's not going to judge me. So when I'm saying friend, we're still married or we're still in our long-term relationship. I'm saying that someone like I trust and I'm depending on, and like we're so honest. We're like, right now things feel kind of, it's a disconnect, but we're committed to, being in this relationship, and we're like, okay, this is a phase. Now I'm sure that if that goes on for some more years, then that's a whole other conversation. If you two just totally feel like, because some relationships they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people decide to stay, but some don't.
Yeah. And it's all about, from what you're saying, is, in my perspective, of what do you value? Jay seems to say, all right, if you're valuing sex, then value it wholeheartedly. Me, on the other hand, I value a little bit more of the real life core values more than sex.
So some people think let's back up real quick. I did not say go all in on the sex. That's not what I said. Okay. What I said was, if that is something that is important to you, you need to give it as much attention as you would give the other stuff.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you yourself have said, like, I won't talk for you. I won't speak for you, but like for me, like sex is a big part of relationships for me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I've also been in relationships where the other person was like, hey, sex isn't that big a thing for me. And I was able to make that adjustment because I cared enough about the other person that it was like, all right, cool, bet. That's not that big a thing. We still have sex, maybe not as often as I would like, but it still happens.
So what do you, that's a good thing you bring up. What if you guys, is that a problem for you?
Is it a problem for me?
Yeah.
What?
If you guys aren't having sex as often as you would like, do you feel like over time that's going to be like, all right, this is starting to get a big problem?
I mean, it's something I adjusted for because I cared about that other person. Like, but like I said, there was more there than just the sex.
Okay.
Like, if there wasn't more there than just the sex, then I probably wouldn't have stayed there for as long as I did. Yeah. It'd probably just be like, I mean, we don't even really hang out that much and we're not having sex. So why? I'll see you when I see you. You know, good luck to you.
Jay, for you, and if this is like too personal, just tell me is it more quantity or more quality about the sex that's important to you?
That's a very good question, and that's not one I've really thought about before.
Because you said that you said you made adjustments and you guys still had sex. Was it that you wanted it more often, or you wanted like some other type of?
I would say at the end of the day, it ended up being quality over quantity because in terms of frequency, I'm like, if I'm being honest, I'm like 2 to 3 times a week, like for real.
That's about average. That's about normal. That's normal. That's not like.
But at the same time, like if. This is a little more raw than I thought I was gonna get, but if you have that like once a week or something like that, you have that like real good time where it's like, yo, I'm good, satisfied, happy, then that might carry me over till next week, or but it gotta be like, that's why I'm saying it depends. Like, but not every session is going to be like championship rounds.
It's not gonna be fireworks.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be July 4th.
Exactly. You know, right. Sometimes it's just Memorial Day.
And that's we had a barbecue. You know what?
That's it.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Jay, because sometimes, man, the quantity, you know, I mean, the quality can be misinterpreted over the quantity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, some people, men and women, measure the quality of their experience with that person. Let's say, for example, you guys just met each other. I won't even name the timetable because I know that's a let's say 6 months. 6 months.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that first time, it was amazing. That's the bar you have set now.
Okay.
Let's say 6 months later, you guys have decided to make it exclusive dating and all that. Maybe it's not as amazing as 6 months prior. I think that's a conversation, you know, people need to have as far as like, all right, if it started up here and then it starts to taper down.
That's interesting.
How you know, what's your thought? I'll start with you, Jay. What's your thoughts on that?
that can go either way, because I used to think that it gets better over time as you learn one another and know one another's body. Like, I had a whole joking conversation one time with a friend, and she said, just as it was getting really good, the relationship ended. She was like, now we like knew what one another wanted and, you know, needed. Like, this is my spot. Oh, that's your spot. Like, they had really explored that, but they had other issues and it ended. So I used to think that it got
outside of sex.
Yes.
Oh, see, yeah.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
So I used to think